And I decided to start doing a set of tutorials for people who are maybe just starting or have been going on for about a year or two. And I just wanted to do this because when I was starting, I didn't have that many people to look to or that many YouTube channels to find that I thought were really helping me in the beginning. But we're going to fix that because today I'm going to teach you about a proper mixdown. So I'm going to open up a project that I have already done, and this is a very, very small project. As you can see, there's not much to it. And I'm just going to play it without any effect. Nah, we'll just leave that there. I'll just play it. And it just loops over and over. So in a mixdown situation, basically you would take all your panning devices and set it back to 0. Then you would take all your tracks and set them to 0 as well. Now the way I do that, I'm using FL12, so you can double click left and then drag to how many channels you want to modify. And then, no, that didn't work. Huh, that's weird. I guess it's because these two are empty. I'm not sure. But, yeah, set everything back to default with all of your tracks. I don't have any percussive tracks. And what you do is you just play it like you normally would and just listen to the most important elements first. That's not that important. So in my opinion, that's the most important element in the track because it's a melody. I'm going to do bass next. That's the bass, and I'll just go on with the other tracks. Alright, once you have that done, you can start doing some panning. Now this button down here, it'll either make it so that the track that I'm modifying is either dead center in my speakers or way out on the sides. I'm going to have this set about here, so it's not in the way of the melody, and it's not really that important of an aspect, so I can put it way back in the stereo sound. And how are we doing on time? We're good. So that's the really basic parts of a mixdown. Bring all your levels down, and then bring them up one by one, starting with the most important. I mean, you can start with the least important first, I guess. But that's just how I was taught. You start with the most important, and then bring them up. Then you do panning. You would actually do effects first, and then panning. So, yeah. And right now, all I have on here is a limiter. And let's see how well we did on the mixdown. I have this really cool plugin called Voxengo Span. I'll link it in the description to the free download. It's a great plugin for analyzing your frequencies yeah, I did a pretty alright job of the mix down. I think I'm going to turn the whistle down just a tad. Okay. There, so now it's kind of more even. There's a lot missing in this upper spectrum. Let's see if we can do something about that. I think this instrument is the most, I could do the most in the high end for this instrument. So I'm going to open up an EQ, and basically all an EQ is that you're taking whatever instrument or sound that you have the EQ up on, and you're either boosting frequencies of that instrument or you're lowering frequencies of that instrument. So for example, if I take this and I drag it all the way down here, that's going to create like a low pass filter, and it's going to make it so that only the low parts of that sound come through. So what we want to do, I'm going to look up here for a reference point, and I'm just going to add some highs to fill up the whole mix down of the song. Now this is a very exaggerated raise, but I don't think it'll personally cause any harm in this mix. So that should be good. And I'm not using any of these low frequencies really, so I'm just going to roll them off. It's a guitar. You don't really need low bass for it. So let's take a look back at the Box and Go. There's a little more action. Not by much, but that should be good. What was I gonna say? One good trick, if you are working with something that you want to have a wider stereo sound, or you just want the sound to be wider and take up more space in the mix, instead of doing this trick, because there's some sounds out there that are just mono, and if you use this knob down here and push it all the way to the left, it won't do anything for those certain sounds. So what you would want to do, we'll take this. You add a delay, which is basically an echo. You can put the time down whatever you want. Choose ping pong, which is basically it'll go from left to right, and it'll keep doing that depending on what settings you have, how long you want it to ping pong, how much time there is between each ping pong, I guess. So you don't want it to show off a lot, because it'll sound weird on other systems. So you just want a little bit of the effect to give it a little bit of stereo width. This decides how long it'll echo on for. I don't want it that long because I just want it for the stereo effect, so I'm going to put it there. This is the volume of the echo, and that's obviously how much the ping pong is going to span across the speakers, this being not very at all, and this being left and right, very harsh. I'm going to have it around here. Maybe turn the actual plugin down just a tad. You can hear how there's a big difference because I'm changing it from mono now